Okay.
Hey everyone, welcome to Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard, an audio podcast. Got a really great guest on today, and I'll describe him briefly. He's an artist and illustrator from Manchester, England. His illustrations bring portraits of famous individuals captured through artistic mediums to capture a timeless character. Please join me in welcoming Stanley Chow. Welcome.
Oh, hi. Hi, Thomas. Thanks for having me.
Ready for 20 questions?
Am I ready for what?
20 questions?
Oh, yes, I'm ready for 20 questions. Yeah. Hang on, let me turn my phone off. So,
Okay, here we go. Question one. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. What do you do?
what do I do? Well, God, well, I'm an illustrator. I mean, like you explained it already. But yeah, but most days I'm a full-time illustrator, part-time dad, I guess, and part-time husband. And but yeah, that's pretty much all I do is draw pictures on a daily basis. I wake up at 9, and then sit in my office until 6 o'clock, basically. Um, so yeah, yeah, I mainly see myself as an illustrator, but every now and again design. I'll be a graphic designer, and sometimes I'll have my artist hat on, but 90% of the time I'll say I'm an illustrator.
Great. And just a note for our audience, this episode is part of a thread of episodes from Manchester, England, through recommendations. So question two, what's a key piece of knowledge that makes you different?
About me, key piece
Mhm.
of knowledge about me.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really interesting question. I guess hmm, God, you might need to edit this because I'm thinking really hard.
It's
It's a
okay.
really tough question. Um, I guess I, I guess I'm one of the few artists in Manchester who who's actually kind of had a long career, as an illustrator. Um, I mean, well, not just I mean, like, also being of Chinese origin as well.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, I've had a career that's like nearly 30 years now, and
mm.
I mean, like I was getting work whilst I was at college, and I don't think there's many artists or illustrators out in Manchester who can claim to have been doing it for that long. I think that's what makes me different, I guess, in Manchester anyway.
Great, I love that. So question three, why this of all things? Why do you do what you do?
Why do I do it? Well, mainly, I mean, like I just said before, I do portraits basically, and it's always something I've been fascinated with. It's I mean, I was drawing for as long as I can remember. I mean, since I could pick up a pen, I can remember as far back as picking up a pen, as a crying baby, basically, and yeah, I never stopped drawing basically, and then as I progressed, I kept drawing faces, and then through school, I was doing portraits of all the teachers, all my school friends, and then but then when I got to art school, it kind of got trained out of me. I got asked to do other stuff and just kind of almost kind of told to evolve into a more rounded artist, basically. But then after art school, I started like freelancing, and then for about 10 years of freelancing, I was actually sick of actually what I was doing. I was just mainly doing lifestyle illustration, and I was doing storyboarding, and I was just wasn't. I just realized it wasn't what I wanted to do, and I, and it dawned on me is like I got to start loving the job again. So it was, and my first love of illustration was actually drawing faces and portraits. So I went back to doing portraits, after like a 10 year career basically.
mm,
Like I made a career change and like right, I'm doing portraits now because that's what I really that'll make me love um illustration again.
mm.
And I'll say for the last 20 years, it's that's what I've been doing.
Great. And some people struggle with number four, but the question is, what does your future look like?
What does my future look like? Wow, I think my future not much different from what it is now, really. I mean, I'm very happy in what I do. I mean, I've also got an eye on kind of like more in the design world. You know, I like the idea of branding. I like just graphic design in general. You mean it's I've always got like one toe in the design world, but you know, so I might try and sell myself in that direction. But ultimately, I can't see many things like changing. Actually, I do. I'm trying to also kind of start up a t-shirt business as well. I sell prints anyway, but I want to kind of like just kind of just sell more stuff, sell more merch, you know, as well as just as well as just illustrating portraits.
Mm,
It's but essentially I'm doing what I'm doing now, but probably but maybe more so.
mm. Great. And number five, we say is unique to this show. The question is, let's talk about location. How does the notion of place play into what you do?
I think I mean it's difficult to say really. I mean I live in Manchester. I mean like I'm a big Man United fan. Um, and and I think these things are quite I don't the thing is I don't know if I would have been a Man United fan if I lived anywhere else, you see. So it's but I think being a being a boy from Manchester and being a Man United fan and actually working for Man United has helped kind of it helped progress my career really. I mean like it's kind of like like I think being in Manchester has definitely has 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 a ooh, yeah, I feel it has kind of advanced my career probably more than it would have done if I was anywhere else, you know.
Mm,
I mean, there was a funny situation is like I'd say about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, I was probably more well known in New York than I was in Manchester. I mean, I was getting work in the New Yorker, I was getting work in Time Magazine, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, etc., etc. And I'll be in these magazines on a weekly basis, basically.
mm,
And I think it was due to my success in New York that kind of where people in Manchester was started to grow as a city. They saw like this lad from Manchester who's doing well in New York. They, the people in Manchester really embraced that. Really, I think, and I think that's really kind of helped my career along.
mm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, great.
I don't know if you answered the question properly, but it's my kind of that's how I interpreted the question.
Yeah, no, it's great. Wonderful. So number six, if you had to start from the beginning, what advice would you give your former younger self?
My former younger self, as in like going back to my early 20s or even before that.
Yeah, both.
Okay, both. Well, I'll say like if I was going to give my younger self out of college younger self, my advice would be kind of to illustrate the things that you love illustrating and not illustrate the things that you think people will like.
Mm,
I mean, I think that's really important. You know, I basically spent lots of years like trying to create a portfolio that will appease clients basically,
mm,
and uh, and basically what it meant was I was getting work that I didn't really want to be doing. You know, and I think that's a lesson that like it took me 10 years to kind of like work out to realize this is not what I wanted to be doing.
mm,
But for my even younger self as a kid, I don't think I would give myself. I mean, like, there's probably little advice I would give myself, like to young child Stan, because it's like I was just encouraged to draw, and my parents were very good at that, and I was just yeah, I'll just I mean probably like if any of us were probably to draw more even, and to kind of probably even maybe even dedicate more of my time to drawing, but like because it's like in my teens I was very into sports as well, you see, and like I did have years of kind of like am I am I going to be which one am I going to focus on, and but yeah, I should have focused more on art, but then again I enjoyed sports, so it's just one of those you just kind of go through life as a child and just do what's ahead of you, really, but going back to like post art school, definitely like it's the advice I give it everyone now is like literally if you want to be an illustrator, illustrate the things that you love and not what you think people will love.
That's a great one. Number seven, what's a day in your life like?
Day in my life like it's pretty well, I get up as late as I possibly can. My wife wakes up about 6 or 7, and I'll try and stay in bed, you know, for as long as I can get away with. So sometimes, 9 o'clock would be a good time to get up. But like, if I can eke out another hour in bed, I'll get out of bed at 10. At 10, then I'll come straight down to my studio. I skip breakfast. I'm not a breakfast kind of guy, so I just come straight to my studio, read all my emails, trying to catch up on, do all my admin, and if I can hopefully draw as many pictures between then and lunchtime, then it'll be an hour lunch, and then I'll be back on the drawing board for until the end of the day, until tea time, until it's time for like the next meal, and then after that it would be like watching TV with the wife and the kids, and then my wife is usually an early sleeper, so she gets to bed about 10, and after 10 I'll either watch more TV, watch a film, or carry on working if I've got any work due in, and I'll work up or stay up till 2 in the morning, and that's pretty much every day. Yeah.
Nice. Eight is around lifelong learning. It's a popular topic. How do you stay up to date?
How do I stay up to date? Okay, well, yeah, just again, it's like I do watch a bit of TV. I'm always on the socials. I'm always on Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. And I got my kids as well. My kids are teenagers, and they're 12 and 15, and they'll keep me up to what's cool and what's not to a certain degree. They'll tell me what's not cool to wear and stuff like that. So yeah, so my finger isn't completely on the pulse, but I try to have it as much on the pulse as I possibly can.
Great. And I think people will be curious about number nine. The question is about tools. Do you use digital and analog tools?
I mainly use Illustrator and Photoshop. Basically, they're the kind of like the things I've been using for the last 15 years or so now. And I've been wanting to paint again and draw again, but I've seemed to have completely lost the habit. There are times when people like ask me to donate little doodles, for charity events, and it's like I, I've kind of like forgotten how to draw now. I'll every now and again I'll try and do a doodle, but it's but I've kind of retrained the way I work, and it's and like all my portraits are all about plotting points and very little pen work, very little analog goes on. And when people do ask me to do a doodle, I kind of like panic a bit. It's kind of quite
Mm.
it's kind of like, oh, I've not done that for a while. So but yeah, so at the moment I'm kind of very much digital world, but I kind of know deep down it's something I want to kind of break out of and go back to kind of painting again.
Great. So halfway number 10, how do you deal with work life or life work balance?
How do I deal with it?
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh, God, as best as I can. I don't think I've ever. I think after like 20 odd years of figuring it out, after being married and having kids and trying to figure out the work-life balance, I don't think it's ever achievable, to be honest with you. I
Hmm.
mean, like something always gives. You know what I mean? It's like you spend a bit more time with your kids and your wife, and then all of a sudden it's like you're stressing about work. It's like because they're not good. You're trying to meet deadlines and stuff, and trying to find enough work to pay the bills, and it's like that's a stress. Or you spend too much time working, and then you have like your wife and kids are saying like you don't spend enough time with us, and it's like and it's so hard to find that balance. But for me, it's like the closest I've got to kind of a work-life balance, admittedly, is to have a kind of a 9 to 5 kind of life, or 10 to 6, working those hours. I
Mhm.
mean, because previously, like before the kids came out, I would be working. I was a night owl basically, and like it wasn't kind of And when my children first came along, being a night owl and working wasn't working with with the responsibilities of being a parent as well. So the closest thing like that's kept everyone happy is actually kind of having a 10 to 6 where because previously before I was married, I'll be spending the daytime kind of either asleep or just kind of not working really, just enjoying the day. And then when it gets dark or after tea time, after dinner time, that'll be my hours of work. Post 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock till 3 or 4 in the morning, and that was when my wife realized like this isn't going to work. So the 10 to 6 is the closest I've ever been working those hours. Is the closest I've managed to kind of get the work life balance right.
Great. And you kind of mentioned around 11, but if you weren't doing what you do now, what might you be doing?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. Um, oh, I mean, I grew up in a Chinese takeaway, so and like, and one of the reasons why I wanted to be an illustrator and be a freelance illustrator was so I didn't have to work in a Chinese takeaway. As I've grown, you know, like I so love cooking basically. It's like I feel like it's something I could just do all the time. I cook for my kids, I cook for the family on pretty much like most of the week, and yeah, I think cooking is definitely something that I would like to like to do, or if not that, it'd be like a full-time DJ, because as well as when I started out freelancing, I was also moonlighting as a DJ in the centre of Manchester, like during my 20s, and so so yeah, that'll probably be another like one of the other things that I could have ended up doing. I mean, like I was DJing like 3 or 4 nights a week, when work wasn't great, illustration work. I mean, so yeah, I could have had a career like in music really, or DJing, or nightlife, something to do with nightlife and DJing and stuff like that. Because I was very much part of, it was very much part of my growing up in the 20s.
Great. And you kind of mentioned around number 12, but what would you not like to do with your career?
What did I not like to do with my career?
Hmm.
Oh, oh God, it's like, I mean, like, I guess I mean, like a normal 9 to 5 job. It's like, I don't know. I don't think I could actually anything that isn't creative, basically. Anything that allows me to be creative in a way is is uh is what I thrive on. So if I have a job that doesn't allow me to be creative, um, I think I'll probably suffer really badly.
Great. And do you have a favorite word, quote, or sentence?
Is that question 13? Or is that just like a
That's
sub question?
13. Yeah, 13.
Okay. Do I have a favorite quote or sentence? Oh my goodness. I don't know actually. Can I come back to that one?
Sure, but the next one's similar. Do you have a least favorite word, quote, or sentence?
Oh right, okay. All right. Holy moly, these are hard questions. Right, let me think back at 13. Um, hmm. Are they both in an artistic context or
I
or
think
within like a
so.
general pardon?
I think work context, yeah.
What context? Okay. Um, okay. What do I like? Oh my God. Hmm. My favorite saying is yeah, my favorite saying is actually in a work context. It's um what do I normally say when people ask me that? Oh my God. Yeah, like success doesn't come on a silver plate.
Mm,
Kind of you have to work for it basically. That's what I tell, that's what I seem to tell a lot of people when people are asking me about work, people are asking me about about how well I'm doing.
mm,
I guess that'll be my favorite, it's like I don't I regard my success down to hard work as opposed to being actually good at what I'm doing,
mm-hmm.
I'd say. And my least favorite saying. Oh my God. Yeah. How much do you charge? Because sometimes, yeah, I that's like yeah, that's there's a lot going on there when it's like I don't know, when somebody's asked you to draw a picture and it's like, you know, how I have a fee in my head, but actually I think it's more, but then I got to work out what the fee is in their head, So it's so yeah,
Great.
yeah, quoting fees is the hardest part of this job.
Great. Okay. So 15, if you're choosing one word to describe yourself, what word do you choose?
Chill,
What keeps you
not
up at night?
stressed.
Oh,
Sorry, chill. Go
what keeps you up at night?
on. What keeps you up at night?
Hmm.
Ah, uh, uh, what keep, I guess what keeps me up at night is not being able to pay the mortgage.
Hmm.
That's what keeps me up at night. It shouldn't be, but but yeah.
Do you have a dream you're chasing?
Do I have a dream?
Hmm.
Sorry,
A dream you're
sorry,
chasing.
I missed that again.
Do you have a dream you're chasing?
I a dream I'm chasing.
Hmm.
Oh, my dream that I'm chasing is similar to the last question. My dream that I'm chasing is to pay off the mortgage. It's as simple as that, really. To be honest with you, I mean, like as an artist, I feel like I've achieved more than I ever expected to have done. You know, I mean, like there may be more success around the corner. But I don't even know what success is anymore, other than being able to keep a roof over my head.
Hmm.
So yeah, like I feel like yeah, that is my one and single ambition right now. I mean, like yeah, and just to keep on carry on working, really.
Hmm.
That I don't my ambitions. I'm not really that ambitious anymore.
Hmm.
Other than I just want to keep on being creative, really.
Mm.
for as long as possible.
Great. And what inspires you?
What inspires me? See my friends do well. I mean, like I'm lucky to be blessed with lots of friends who are very successful in their professions, be it fashion designers or musicians or graphic designers and stuff like that. It's like it's their enjoyment of 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 doing what they do and their love of what they do. It almost kind of makes me, it makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. I made the right choices basically in life and carry on doing what I love doing. So I think that they're my friends my are my biggest inspiration.
Great. And last couple here. Any advice you'd like to share?
And advice I'd like to share. Um, I mean, like the what the advice is like what I said before is one of those things where it's like like illustrate the things you love and not and not to please the client. But the thing I'll advise advise you to do when you're young, when you're in your early 20s, if there's a choice between fun and work, always pick fun. You know, because fun is one of those things that doesn't last forever. I don't think. And but yeah, that'll be my advice. Even when not even when you're a kid, I think I think you know fun fun should come first.
Mm. Great. And finally, number 20, how can our listeners keep tabs on you and what's our call to action?
To keep tabs on me.
Hmm.
Just as in like it, I mean like just follow me on Instagram basically, I guess, and on X. Um, and maybe I'll try and keep that up to date as possible. Really, Um, I do other things, I guess, that don't appear on Instagram and that I just forget about. But just I mean, yeah, just yeah, follow me on Instagram and you get you get much of me, the most of me, I guess.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being on today. I love that we're bridging out this Manchester angle, and it sounds like we're connecting to the New York angle too. So, two important pillars for the podcast. Thank you so much for being on
Brilliant.
today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Thomas. And hopefully speak again soon.
Great.